Hi everyone, this is Eric, and today we're going to be showing you how virtual functions work in C++. Before starting, I would really recommend you to take a look at our videos on how classes work, as this will be very useful to fully understand virtual functions. So let's start with an example. We have here two classes. We have the animal class and then we have the dog class. The dog class is a derived class from animal, where animal is the base class and then dog is the subclass. Okay, well, let's just start by adding a member method to animal. This member method is going to return a string from the std library. We're going to call it getMyType, and the string will contain the word animal because it is the animal class. Then for dog, we're going to have the same thing, where it's going to return a string. We're going to call it getMyType, and the string will contain the word dog. So let's just use this class. We're going to initiate a new object from the dog class, and we're going to use the getMyType function just by using the object dot getMyType, and we'll print the string using the std_cout and inline functions. So now we're going to run this code and see what we get. So we can see that we're getting dog, which makes sense, because after all, this is the getMyType function from dog class. So far so good. Everything we've been doing makes sense. Now, what if we want to make it a little bit harder? What if we have a vector of dogs and, for instance, cats, and we're going to use pointers of the type animal in order to access each item? Okay, well, let's do a quick example. Say we have a pointer of animal type. It's going to point to a newly initiated object using the new keyword. And let's see now what happens if we try to run the getMyType function. So now the main question is it going to run the first getMyType function or the second one? And as we can see, we're getting the first one, we're getting animal. So why does this happen? Well, basically our pointer to dog object is a pointer of the animal class. Therefore, the compiler just doesn't know that it is pointing to a dog. It just knows that the type of pointer to dog is a pointer of the animal type. So, even though it points to a dog object, since pointer to dog is a pointer of the animal type, the compiler is just going to run the first getMyType function from the animal class, not from the dog one. So, in order to fix this, we're going to use something called virtual functions. We're going to use them by writing virtual in front of the function that we want to overwrite. And then now when we run this code, so once we run this code, it looks like we're getting dog, which is exactly what we wanted to get. Why is this happening now? Well, now that we're using virtual functions, whenever we write virtual in front of the function that we want to overwrite, the compiler is just going to look for functions with a similar name and with the same return type in the subclasses from animal. In this case, why I was actually using the second getMyType function from the dog class. So to recap, the compiler is going to see the type of pointer to dog, in this case that's a pointer from the animal class. It's going to see getMyType that it's got a virtual keyword next to it, and so therefore it's going to look at the subclasses from animal and see if there's a similar function with the same name and return type. In this case, that is dog. So that is how virtual functions work in a nutshell. It is just a way of telling the compiler that this function might be overridden by another function in a respective subclass. I hope this video was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe so you don't miss out on my future videos.